Today's AskReddit post. What is the most disgusting secret you're hiding right now? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. I dropped a human brain once in prep class and put it back like nothing happened, and everyone was wondering what kind of head trauma that person died of. Edit. Holy shit. I didn't know I could make so many people laugh. Thank you for all the upvotes and awards. That is really not necessary. I figured I add the specifics here quickly, because I am a little overwhelmed with responding to so many comments. I was a teaching assistant to the professor for human anatomy and preparatory class. Part of my job, I studied biology and am a trained preparator turned mortician and am specialized in reconstruction, was to prepare donor bodies for upcoming classes. I would receive specific orders from the professor. What kind of grossing tables? Which body part? What kind of class, etc. I am not a MD or even thought about being one. I'm just a basement dweller that makes a living off death, and I am grateful to do so. Big brain moment. Edit. Thank you kind Redditor for my first silver. D. Bruised brain moment. I am pretty sure this person was dropped as a child. I make up secrets and post them on Reddit. My younger brother used to eat the dog food because he thought it would make him better friends with the dog. We began to leave a bowl out for him next to the dog bowl. You shouldn't have let him eat that. Now his babies will be born naked. Animals. Wait, you mean the skin tentacles aren't normal? When I was younger, I would steal coins from my parents, and when I had enough, I would bring them to my dad and had them changed to paper bills, and he would be so proud of me for saving coins that he would buy me ice cream or sweetbread. He knew. Yes, he absolutely knew. 10 years ago I used to do the same shit. Recently, about 2 years ago, my dad told me that he knew what I was doing. We had a good laugh. I love you, Dad. Red heart. I stole cigarettes from my dad when I was 18-19. Now I'm 24 and he steals from my pack. He knew. He was letting you steal so he can steal later. All families does that. I made up a person. When I was in high school, I wanted to sound more popular, so I made up a guy friend. He had an incredibly interesting backstory. This went on for years. Well into college, I had the same friends, so I couldn't just end the charade. The funny thing is, all of these people, my family, my best friend, even my husband, believe that they met this man. I never introduced them to anyone, but over the years, they all have different memories of seeing him. Finally, I just sort of phased him out, saying that we grew apart and lost touch. And yet, people will randomly ask me for updates on him. I just give vague answers and watch my husband smirk from across the room. My husband is the only person who knows the truth. I am so ashamed that I will never admit it. That lie was such a dumb thing that snowballed. This is honestly great and actually made me laugh. However, it's crazy how memories are so fluid and unreliable. There are a pair of episodes in Malcolm Gladwell's podcast Revisionist History about the fluidity of memory. The first one is called Free Brian Williams, because Brian Williams was essentially suspended and demoted for stolen valor because he claimed to be in a helicopter taking enemy fire, when in fact it was another helicopter he wasn't on, but was flying the same route. The theory is that Brian had told the story so many times that, perhaps unconsciously, made it more exciting by putting himself on the helicopter being attacked. Williams is currently still on a lowly MSNBC political analysis role, rather than his previous role as NBC nightly news host, one of the highest profile positions on the network. A parallel story from that podcast: Malcolm and his neighbor have differing memories from the morning of 9/11, as to when they visited each other and where. There's also a lot of cases of people reading their own journals, diaries, and not believing the words they wrote because they remember something completely different. Uncle confided in me that he stopped taking the medications that are keeping him alive because he can't handle the weight of his life. Currently trying to be there for him as much as I can, but haven't told anyone because I feel like it's his choice, and I'd likely want the same in his situation. He's just worn out and feels like he's done his time, and has already done what he can for the people around him. Reminds me of my uncle. We each have a rare muscle condition that will probably put us in wheelchairs later in life. and found out he's been doing meth and robbing homes to fund it. I love him so much. It hurts to see him doing something that will hurt others as well as himself. Edit. To clarify, he is not currently in a wheelchair. Edit 2. I do not condone his use of thievery to fuel a meth addiction. I hope to God he isn't selling again, because he's already served 5 years for selling. Because some people have mentioned it, it's not as easy as just reporting him. I'm not exactly told when he breaks and enters. As far as I know, it's only happened once, and his parents, my grandparents, just bail him out. Sorry for the initial comment not being too clear. We had a candy corn counting contest in like 4th or 5th grade where you guess how many are in the big jar. When no one was looking, I carefully took the tape off the top thinking I was going to count them all or something, and saw that they had written the total on the inside of the top, so being a genius, I took out about 30 of them, ate the evidence, and put my guess in for the number -35, you know, so it wouldn't be suspicious if I got it on the nose, not realizing they weren't going to recount them. The winner guessed it within 20 of the number on the bottom of the lid. So basically, I cheated, sabotaged and still lost, and I kept all that stupidity to myself for all these years. Candy corn counting contest is an extremely fun sentence to say. When my sister and I were little, she would lick her cat because she thought she was helping to clean him. Did you grow up in Scranton with a sister named Angela? Didn't Angela move to Scranton from Ohio? Or did she take the slow train from Philly? As a student with a shitty waitering job paying me almost nothing, I used to eat the food my customers didn't want after I took their plates to the kitchen. Been there, mate. It was like a second ducking payday if someone forgot about their to-go order. An ethical life pro tip: call in a to-go order shortly before closing, then take it home when never claimed. If the kitchen staff catches on to this, you'll be stabbed walking to your car after your closing shift. Seriously, any wait staff job I had, the cooks would happily mess up a meal in our favor. When I was 8, my 19-year-old cousin tried to make out with me. I remember him rubbing my leg and kissing me in the kitchen whilst my mum was in the living room. I didn't understand what was really happening at the time, but I knew I didn't like it. I kept nervous giggling and pushing him away. After a couple of minutes he looked disappointed and walked away. I don't remember if he ever tried anything else. He was killed in an accident 3 years later, and I chose never to tell anybody as I didn't want to add to my aunt's grief. Edit. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting such an overwhelming response. Truthfully, I never realized how much I needed to just get it off my chest. Thank you all so much for the love and support. It really means the world. Damn. That's ducked. Well, almost ducked, but yes, it's ducked. That last year when I was suspended from work for 6 months, it was due a failed post-accident drug test. I wasn't laid off. I knew it. Yeah, Katie told Amber, then everybody found out. I mean, you know how Amber is. I got nudes from my best friend's mom. Edit. Sorry, I've been at work and don't have my Reddit notifications on. Yes, I saved the pictures. Yes, I still have them. Edit number 2. During my senior year of high school, last year, I got bored and horny and decided that I would try and get some nudes from her since she was always kinda attractive. I think she was a little drunk, but anyways she ended up sending me a few and she allowed me to save them. My friend doesn't know that this happened. There was also a second time I got nudes from her. Does she got it going on? Was she all you wanted that you waited so long for? Heck yeah. You know I'm not the little boy that I used to be. I mean, if she came outside with just a towel on, you know she likes you. I secretly broke a 2,500 euros printer. That is rare and precious. I just fixed it just enough that the second person using it got blamed for this and almost expelled from school. Maybe the person before you did the same thing to you. It's a tradition, going back generations. It's actually a school that teaches kids to fix things, and this is used to weed out the weaker links. In biology class we were dissecting a pig's eyeball and my hand slipped and the eyeball fell on the floor, and me being extremely lazy I kicked it under a cabinet and it lay there for 2 years until someone finally found it. I'm just picturing some unfortunate cleaner randomly finding this ducking desiccated eyeball. I've cleaned biolabs and a desiccated eyeball isn't even very high on the list of disgusting things we find. Once body parts are dried up, they hardly smell at all. That classroom was notorious for being very humid, but the smell wasn't a big deal since nobody really sensed it. A guy whose dad worked on our farm took me way out back when I was about 7-8 and made me suck his dick. Probably happened about 12 years ago, only my GF knows. Edit. Thank you everyone for the amazingly kind comments and everything. For now I don't plan to say anything about it as I don't want it to affect the rest of his family or anything, as there's no reason to make anyone else feel shitty for his own stupid actions, but I do really appreciate everyone who reached out. Thanks again. 3. Not okay. You okay fam? Yeah, it was a long time ago. Pretty sure it has caused a few of my problems in my life just being there subconsciously, but it's okay, nothing I can do now. Sorry that happened to you, friend. That I hit some kid in the back of a trampoline park with a chain I grabbed off of a fence because he kept poking me. I think your respective ages could alter my reaction to this post. Not in all my 48 years have I met a more annoying 8-year with a stick. My one friend has no idea that I've known that he doesn't have kids for months. Also that I know he's been saying this and lying to everyone for attention. He tells a very convincing story. He goes into vague details, has a photo of the girl, says that she's been showing him fake paperwork as proof for the children. If what he says is true, would be literally extortion. Everything. Little does he know that I've been watching closely and also researching to find this woman. I know she isn't real and that he's lying and been lying this whole time for almost a year. Nothing he says makes sense and it just keeps escalating, which also doesn't make sense. I literally couldn't help myself but investigate. If everyone finds out that he's been lying this whole time, it will spread like wildfire. He doesn't have many friends and the friends he did have stopped talking to him because of his compulsive lying. Edit. Holy crap, this blew up. I'll try to get to as many comments as possible. I had a friend like that in college. I talked to him about it and while he took it super hard at first, I gave him examples and he broke down. It turns out he had been so severely bullied for his whole life that he had absolutely no confidence in being able to attract and keep people in his life without those lies. It took a lot of time and work on his part and me kindly and patiently reminding him when he slipped on my part. But he changed. I gained a solid friend as a result of my being willing to stick around and work with him through it. It was a life-changing experience for both of us. Now that is something awesome, because for most people the go-to move after you had caught his lies would be to cut the ties with a liar, and it wouldn't sound terrible either. But you changed someone's life by giving them second chance. Kudos. I loved ketchup so much as a kid that I used to have it with cereal sometimes. I used to lie, like a lot. I used to make up stories to tell people, just for the sake of it. I don't do it anymore, although this leads me to telling the same stories over and over. OH. This was totally me in like first grade when I was 6. Hey, do you know that there is a bee in China which is the size of a cow and shoots its stinger like a projectile, and at one point it impaled a man straight through? It's true. Worst part is, since it was first grade, kids actually believed my nonsense. There were at least a million complete fabrications that I told these kids, and I bet that I appear like some kind of complete lunatic in their eyes looking back. No, you were 6. I used to teach little kids that age and they all make up stories. As a teenager I was abroad with my class. I shared a room with 2 other girls. One morning I went to the toilet and take a dump. I was shocked as I saw that the toilet flushing was not strong enough to wash it away. I panicked. So I grabbed it with toilet paper, wrapped it around and threw it as far as I could out of the window. Edit. Oh, thank you. You Taco Panda 15, my first award ever. May your poop never clog your toilet. One day I was walking down some street in Paris and got hit in the face with a load of shit wrapped up in toilet paper. can confirm that this is true. I was the load of shit. A majority of the time, the voice in my head first thoughts are just really unnecessarily mean towards myself, but especially others, even those I care about, extremely nitpicky, selfish, rude, etc. Thoughts, I don't understand why. Sometimes it leaks out into the real world on its really bad days, and I'm just an ass. It makes me feel pretty bad about who I am as a person sometimes, because I really just want to be a lovely person and think the best about others, and I don't feel like a good one very often because of these thoughts. I guess maybe OP meant nasty equals disgusting, but it feels disgusting to me some days. Edit. I truly appreciate everyone's suggestions and information, thank you very much. Someone's mom once said, "You are not your first thoughts, you are the ones that correct them." I'm in a lot of debt and it's potentially going to ruin my relationship. I've been there, man. I'm almost on the other side of it now. I'll be debt free by November when my first child is born. Look up a credit counseling service in your area. That's what I did. My quality of life has gone up so much, it's incredible. Thanks. I appreciate that. I've spoken to financial advisors and my choices were keep doing what I am. Just gonna take a while. Or declare bankruptcy. I've a really good car which was cheap but newish and is a good long-term investment, so decided against that. But I've a plan in place and it's taking a little too long for me to be comfortable, so I'm looking at anything and everything to raise some extra money. If it makes you feel any better, I'll be in debt till I die and I can't declare bankruptcy. Isn't education in America great? My friend's girlfriend is having serious doubt about their relationship and she's telling everyone but him. It so is like she wants someone else to tell him so that she doesn't have to start the breakup conversation. It is cowardly behavior, and I would give him a heads up. During lockdown, my sister had a meltdown because she thought I had stolen a pair of nail clippers shaped like a foot that she owned. I told her, truthfully, that I also had a pair and that she had stolen mine. They actually were hers. I found mine an hour later. Rather than tell her, I gave back hers and said, if they mean so much to you, you can have them. I then hid mine in her bag when she went back home after lockdown. She got there and found the 2 nail clippers and now believes that she was wrong and that the nail clippers she had a meltdown over were actually mine. That's why I am happy I'm an only child. No man. You need siblings to do this shit too. You're missing out. I dropped a bun in the self-service area of a convenience store. I didn't pay for it. I just kicked it under the shelf and left. You should be put to justice, you horrible little scum. It's been haunting me ever since. Face with tears of joy. Edit. Spelling error. Did you mean haunting? No. Hunting. The bun has a particular set of skills and recently sent a threatening phone call. When I was about 5, I used to prefer cat food to normal food. Now I can't stand the taste of cat food or human food. Yes. One of my friends has nudes of our mutual friend's mom. Fucking hell, he doesn't know it. He video calls her at night. Wait, do you know the guy from the other comment? Thank you. I was surprised reading his comment when I literally read another comment above that had the same content. As a small child, I ate an old piece of gum from under a bus seat. I'd really like to exchange my mouth for a new one. It's okay, I put that gum there and had just brushed my teeth. You are just fine. I am addicted to cocaine. Please get help, man. A friend of mine was 2 and he went full psychosis after a couple of years. His worried boss found him in his flat, completely detached from reality, babbling nonsense. If no one is checking you on this is your future. This happened to my ex's stepbrother. He thought that the settling sounds his old house made were camera clicks from the government taking pics of him from other dimensions. I drew a massive penis on the ceiling in my art classroom, probably a meter long, and it's been there for years. I asked friends who have brothers and sisters there and they say it's still there. It's been like 8 years now. It's now the school's heritage. Face with tears of joy. They're going to make it the mascot. Mascot. My dad's affair with a man roughly my age. My childhood with my parents was traumatic and physically abusive enough. I'm too detached to tell my mom or siblings. Also, if you're expecting a text from the hot young stud you plan to bone, maybe don't leave your phone on the restaurant table while you go to the bathroom. Edit. The gay part isn't disgusting. The being a lying moral, Bible thumping sack of shit is. I think people are more concerned about the roughly my age part. Well, it started when I was about 22-23 to my knowledge and has continued for 6+ years. So at least it's not that level of bad. Asterisk. I'd totally knock on him if it was, though. Edit. For context, he was in his 60s when it began. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.